Hey everybody, this is Benj Meeks, aka Gardenguy, and I'm here to show you today what Justin and Rebekah Rhodes are doing to start their seeds. They are really doing a great job of doing soil blocks. Let's look what that looks like. Alright, look at this. We got a nice greenhouse walking in. Looks like they have all kinds of soil blocks going on. We have, let's see, looks like kale, another broccoli, all kinds of brassicas through here, some lettuces, and what do we got? We're doing some experiments for using biochar and not using biochar, and then also using worm castings. But all in all, we started these I think 2 days ago, and look at that, they're already starting to germinate. It's pretty amazing how quickly that happens. So they are using soil blocks, which is a great way to start your seeds. Essentially, this space in between the going around and around, because like this kind of tray, which this is also really good. It'll work. I like soil blocks better, but this will work. With this, the roots are going to go around and around and get root bound if you don't plant them quick enough. But these soil blocks has a space, an area of air where the root is going to tend to stay within the block, stay away from the light. Rhodes use what's actually called a soil block maker, where you pile up your soil that's a good mixture of, has to have a lot of fiber in it to hold the blocks together. Then you press this down into it, fills up those compartments with soil. Pull this, boom, they pop out. Another great thing they're doing is they lifted these flaps all along the sides, on that side, keeping the door open, and on that side. And that's just making a nice airflow. If you don't have airflow, a lot of times your plants will get it's too spindly. They'll go straight up, but they won't have that pressure of the wind blowing them back and forth, and they'll be a little more on the weak side. But if you ever have some airflow, it's nice, because then you get stronger stems. These guys look like they're ready to be planted. See those real seeds popping out? Broccoli and lettuce, turnips, butterhead, Nancy lettuce, collards, cabbage here. So these are all fall crops. These are all beets right here. Beets. More beets, or spinach actually, beets. This is going to be kale. Look at those guys starting. It's good stuff. So this morning Miss Rebekah came out. There were 3 plants here. She tore them out, and then just planted some dill plants right here. You can see that used to be soil blocks, and I mean they just pop right out. There it is, your little plant, and you put it to where you need it, and bam, 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 plants are ready. All right, I'm with the gardener herself. Here she is, Miss Rebekah.
That's hilarious.
And I'm just gonna ask a few questions.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So basically, I'd love to hear what you got growing. Okay. And then some tips as far as a fall garden goes.
Okay, so right now we have like all the classic fall stuff: cabbage, beets, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, lettuce, turnips. I'm doing Brussels sprouts for the first time. I'm just doing a small little section of them. Yep. I just wanted to get at least 6 plants, so I have that here. Nice. Lettuce, broccoli. I'm super excited about this broccoli. It's Bell Star broccoli is the variety, and they have pretty good heads. So this is the variety I grew this spring. The heads were like this big, and I was like, that's not cool. No. Because I did all that work, and then like this, like we harvested so much broccoli, and Justin and I just had a little bit on our salad. Like we couldn't even like feed our family. I know. So I'm super excited about that. And then I did a storage cabbage because I really want to try. I did 2 different types of storage cabbages, and then collards. Okay. So yeah, and then I think the best tip is just to do something small for your first time. Yeah. Like don't be like manageable. I've got to grow all the things. Maybe just try to grow lettuce, or just try to go kale, or do something like that. And then the other tip would be to use row covers. To do some sort of like cold frame or a row cover so that you can extend the season out. And I mean, that's one of mine and Justin's favorite gardens, actually, is the
Yeah.
winter garden.
Mine too.
Because, I know, it's because, like, the bugs aren't growing, the weeds aren't growing.
Tastes so good.
You're just, like, inside a lot, and then you come out and you, like, harvest your greens for dinner, and then you go back in and eat it, and it's not, like, a lot of work. Because you put all the work in now, and then you don't do the work
This honestly is
later.
most of the work you're doing for a fall garden.
Yeah.
Unless your weeds have gone crazy, and then you can, you gotta weed again.
Yeah, and we use the silage sharps, and that really, really, really helps to keep the weeds down because it germinates them, and then they die because they have lack of sunlight. So I'm really hopeful for this fall. You know, we're at the stage where everything's going really good.
Yeah, it is. I mean they're starting up. And really, like, they're germinating right now.
Everything is germinating really well. Everything's doing well. There's no bug pressure. There's no weed pressure. You know, like, there's been no failure yet. So.
What do you do if you don't have a nice greenhouse like this? Like, most folks don't. You mentioned earlier last year you guys were doing it indoors.
So last year we germinated in the basement, and then we brought them out.
Yeah.
But then we had a lot of funky weather, and the rain was coming, and so we had to keep putting the seedlings under the shed, and then they got really leggy, and it was just so bad we didn't even plant them.
Yeah.
So, or no, wait, we did plant them.
You tried them.
But it just was very unsuccessful.
When they're leggy, it's like the stem is too thin to really support too much.
Yeah, I mean, even like Justin was like, "Are these too leggy?" I don't think they are, but they can just get leggy. Is like they'd be this tall and super thin.
Yeah.
But no, everything's going really good right now. I'm really excited.
It's awesome.
About what we have, and I mean, we bought a high tunnel, so we're gonna have this in a high tunnel. In the past, we've done it under row covers, which it's a little bit more labor intensive because you have to get under the row cover, and it's, you know, low to the ground, and then you're trying to like harvest. And so I'm really excited to try the high tunnels this year and
that's exciting.
See how it does. So if you want to, you can just, I would grow lights.
Yeah.
If you don't, and you can do it really inexpensive with just going to the big box hardware store and getting, I think it has to be full spectrum fluorescent lights. Okay. And then just use like, what are those called? Cement blocks. And you do cement blocks and like hang them.
Yep.
Do like a board in between the cement blocks and then have your boards, and it can be like as little as $50 to have a pretty large system.
That's awesome.
So
anybody can get into it.
Yeah.
And if you have to, I mean, you can do the windowsill.
Yeah, and you can direct seed. This doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
We're growing at such a large scale for a family of 6.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we grow so much food, but also because we're trying to beat out the weeds and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, like things like spinach and beets, you can direct seed those later. Yeah. Kale, have you ever tried direct seeding kale?
We have. It's just a weed game. You just have to have to stay up against the weeds. It's hard because like right now the silage tarp is on the garden, so we'll pull that back, and then if you don't disturb the soil too much, I'm finding you don't have a lot of weed pressure, because where you disturb the soil is where then the weed seeds get. You have a nice layer of mulch on top. Yeah. Well, we don't mulch because we're doing the market garden style in the crop gardens. Yeah. But if like we just pulled it back, not rake it or anything, just literally direct, just put it, and just plant it. Yeah. And the weed pressure is way less. Nice. And so when we were behind, and that's why we direct seeded kale, Swiss chard, all the things. And I mean, we'll still direct seed our carrots, which I actually need to get those in the ground. That's the one thing I need to still direct seed. But I mean, it's gonna be great. Like I said, I love fall winter gardens. Wish I could also be here whenever I know, right? Whenever the harvest comes. Come on and we could probably make a position for you somewhere. Hey, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Awesome. Well, thanks for the little tour. You are welcome. You're awesome. Oh, thank you. I'm finding out that Rebekah is actually the real gardener around here. Yeah, Justin is not. He's the meat guy. He's the meat guy. Yeah. I'm the vegetable lady. You make a good team. Yeah, and it's funny because Jonah is not. He's like, I am a meat farmer. I can get
Like
the
father,
other
like
kids.
son.
The other kids, I can get them involved. Like they like making the blocks, and they'll plant with me, and I can get them out. I can't really get them to weed, but you know, they'll pick and then preserve with me too. So and they'll eat it, which is the whole end game.
Oh yeah, if you grow it and don't eat it, then why?
Yeah, I know. Why are you wasting all this
Which
time?
would be another good tip is like figure out what you like.
Yes.
What you're gonna eat and then plant that.
Well, and that's why, you know, like we're not huge on Brussels sprouts. I mean, we eat them, but it's that's why I'm trying just a test plot just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I know I love kale. I love lettuce. These turnips I'm really excited about. They we were turned on to them when we were on the Great American Farm Tour. They were it starts with an H. I cannot remember the name of it, but they're like you can eat them raw.
What?
They're delicious.
Those are carrots.
No, turnips.
These are carrots for a second.
No,
Like,
yeah,
doesn't
sorry.
look
I
like
might
carrots.
have said carrots, but no, these are turnips. And they, I ate one when we went and saw Jean-Martin Fortier at his amazing farm that he's working at, and he's like, eat it, and I was like, I'm not a real big turnip fan.
Yeah.
And as I was like, okay, I'll play the games, you know. And so I wiped the dirt off and I ate it, and I was like, this is actually really delicious.
Like candy.
Yeah.
I've heard one thing that happens in the fall is the cooler weather changes the sugars in the plants to where they actually become more sweet.
Yeah, and kale, like after it frosts, it tastes better.
Yeah.
And collards.
Big time.
Yeah.
Spinach.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited about it all, and I mean, Justin, he loves to kiss him some cabbage. He will kiss the cabbage, and I'm looking forward to broccoli soup. With my broccoli, with my big heads of broccoli. I'm gonna hopefully preserve them, and
you got them started at the right time with broccoli. It seems like the time game.
Yes.
If you don't go early enough.
And then you've got to also do the bug netting.
Yes.
You have to do bug netting. This is
small.
our first year with bug netting, and we've never had such a good cabbage broccoli harvest. I gave up on cauliflower. I used to grow cauliflower, and I can't. I don't know. It's just hard.
I've never had success either.
It's hard. I don't know.
I think it does better up north.
It must, because
longer growing days.
I don't understand how mine turns yellow every time.
Yeah.
And it bolts before it actually forms a head.
Yep. Same thing.
Well, I'm glad to know that I'm not the
South. We're in the South. I'm in Tennessee, North Carolina.
Yeah, which we're basically same zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's grow some fall crops.
That's right.